Hello, and welcome to Bartending in the Sticks, Episode 1. I'm Gina DeLeo-Stamey.
And I'm Mike Rothmeyer. And we are here to talk about everything bartending. Oh yeah, when we say cheers too,
cheers.
You have to look in the eye, you have to drink. This is the minimum, the two things you have to do.
Yes.
We're going to talk about everything bartending, spirits, and navigating how to bartend in a non-metro area. And we just want to encourage everyone out there, whether you're a bartender professionally, whether you're a home bartender, or whether you're just a consumer who likes to go out and have good drinks. We want to encourage all the things that we found in our experience bartending in a non-metro area that really ushered in just sort of an awakening, I guess, that we had, that we just enjoyed so much. It turned our jobs, I think, into an enjoyable adventure.
Yes, and an acceptance. I feel like there was a little bit just being on the outskirts and not being in the hubbub of it all. I think a lot of people were really, just like anything, any sort of change, people are really resistant to. And so there was some resistance when we first started, bringing in some of this stuff. People were like, what is that? I don't even know any of the ingredients on this list or whatever. And they were very, I don't know if I want to try it, So, we'd sneak in a couple classics and then a couple that we had made. And then some of the older stuff that people would like the Blue Moon Martini or something silly like that, which was obviously not like a classic or anything. It was like something that was made up by whoever with some, blue curacao and some cream and tasted like an orange sickle that people were into, right? And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But trying to get it to the point and to the point where we just like a cook or, a chef, I should say, not a cook, but
you can.
Either one.
I think it's
either
fine.
way. Either way. You don't want to be cooking the same menu all the time. You don't want to be, you want to try new ingredients, try new things, try to come up with things. And so, I think that was kind of where it was with the bar industry too. People were just kind of, but then there was those people who really just wanted to keep it the same. I don't really want to work very hard and I don't want to learn new things.
Yeah.
I just want to keep it where I'm at. It's easy. This is where it's at. I don't have to do anything. And that's fine too.
Sure.
But it's always nice to grow. It helps the mind, helps the psyche, helps everything just kind of keep on.
Well put. I love it.
Moving.
Yeah. And so, right, I think what we were doing, and what continues to happen again out in the sticks where there's just a lot of distance to go, like you're talking about, like you say, if we start peppering in classics to a menu and we start peppering in some originals, that if they're vetted and we all, like the whole crew tastes them and figures out like this works, and this doesn't, this ratio works, and this the flavor works and the price works and all that sort of thing. There's just a long way to go. Like you could really keep going for a long time. And even, I would say even like, the finer bars and bigger bars in the cities continue to do that and keep throwing, the proverbial spaghetti at the wall to see if it sticks and becomes a modern classic, say like a Paper Plane or a Penicillin or something like that, just as examples of something that has become a classic in, say, the last 15 years or so. It's kind of interesting to see that those kind of things happen. And those are being published in books all the time. And I'm always encouraging everyone to get the books. They're so great. And it's just awesome. I mean, I have some behind me and we'll probably go into some of those in another episode. But it's just a rich thing that there's plenty of creativity going on that you can learn from everyone else to bring into your own experience, whether you're bartending at home or bartending professionally or going out and enjoying something, because if you're just only going to drink Cosmos, you know, I don't know, like that's just kind of a shallow sort of existence in my opinion. I'd love a little more spice in my life anyway. I want more variety.
There's nothing wrong with people who really like Cosmos and go out
Not
and get Cosmos.
all, of course. Dale DeGroff brought the Cosmo in. I think it's definitely in one of these books over here. The martini is one of those things that Gina talked about in our first episode. Please go check that out. Where she ended up making a 50-50, which at the time, probably right about that year, was where the Pegu Club in New York was sort of highlighting the 50-50. And but the
I was
guest
so before my time.
but the guest was not ready for that much vermouth, and that was the first thing that she said to you was just like, oh gosh, too much vermouth, you know. And that's the thing, like if somebody is so acclimated maybe to just having chilled gin or just chilled vodka or whatever, right. And you know, there's a lot of nuances that we can talk about, especially when you're talking about the differences between gin and vodka. Gin loves vermouth. Vodka is going to get overtaken a little bit by vermouth, and most of your vodka martini drinkers, they're not really looking for vermouth. The original martini is gin, vermouth, orange bitters, stirred, not shaken. I mean, so I have to go there. Ian Fleming wrote some novels in which James Bond drank a Vesper. Vesper, you could say it's a martini. I mean, it's in the martini family, I guess, if you want to put it there. But it's not a classic martini. And the fact that he wanted it shaken, maybe he just wanted it a little bit more diluted. And he was, as an author, I think, being specific. He's like really going at it and going like, hey, this is exactly how I want it. And
for the character and everything else, it was just very, yes.
Do you know what James Bond's drink was other than the Vesper and more common in the books?
I don't. I've never read one of the books.
That's fine. So Negroni was his go-to drink. 007 more often drinking Negronis.
You know, and I feel like if it was written today, that would definitely be the drink of choice, more so than the shaken, not stirred Vesper. Right.
So we're stirring in our Uri vessel. This is a good opportunity to just say, like, I don't know if you can, I got this on Cocktail Kingdom. You can get it online real easy. They tend to get broken, so they also make a metal version of this too that's insulated. And if you are not using one that's either insulated and you're just using a cocktail shaker, then while you're stirring, the ice gets stuck. When you're trying to stir it, the ice gets stuck on the edge of the glass, or edge of the vessel, I should say, and that's not what we want. We would just prefer to get it chilled down without any ice shavings or chippings or whatever. That's fine. That's fine.
It's good.
We're not allowed to do accents.
You can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
This is our fucking show.
It's our fucking show, man.
And, you know, when I'm doing accents, they like roll into a bunch of other things. It's not even what the fuck accent is it?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Where
the hell is she from? Who knows? I like to keep you on your toes.
Okay, I'm gonna remind me. I want to get your opinion on that because I did something on how to make coffee without a filter out backpacking. And I did an accent, and Suzanne's like, you can't do that. And I was like, why not? You can't even tell what accent is that from. I mean, is it could be Albanian.
Not be able to be in this. I mean, come on.
Well, if you've seen the movie, which you need to see.
Which was filmed in 1982.
With Peter Falk.
See, we were just talking about this. Yes, those movies don't really go over well now. Okay. They are what they are, but that comedy is kind of dead.
All right. So we're going to make a martini out of gin. This is an Islay gin. So Scotland. It's one of my favorites. The Botanist. and I got some Dolan Vermouth, which is a little delicate for this drink, but that's okay because we're going to use a fair amount of it, which is cool. And then again, the bitters just bring this kind of, orange bitters brings this kind of creamy quality to them that just ends up missing if you don't have it. So I think we're going to do a 3-to-1 is what I'm thinking. You down with that, Gina?
Sure.
Okay. So that's a large drink. Like that's like kind of home pour. And part of the podcast, I think we're going to be talking about the difference between home bartending and professional bartending. The price point on a 3-to-1 at a bar is going to maybe be a little bit more expensive than you'd like. Ooh, I might be running out of room in my vessel. Speaking of pouring a 3-to-1.
You didn't tell me what I was getting into when I was coming over for this video.
Well, welcome to my world.
We're going to have 3-to-1 drinks, Gina, and guess what? You have had no dinner and barely any lunch. You're going to feel really good, and this show is going to be amazing.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's a thing, and it's what we're doing over here.
Let's do it. Here we go.
So I'm going to be careful because I'm real close to the spilling over the spout here, so I'm going to stir in a very gentle way. We're stirring, keeping the spoon against the back of the glass. We're not like I can just show like what we're not doing because this looks unprofessional. Is this kind of stirring the back and forth?
Yeah.
You just look like you don't know what you're doing.
It's so much easier to do it the round way.
It really is. It takes a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell everybody all the time. Is just like, yeah.
Please leave your bar if you ever see a bartender do what Mike just did. Just turn around and walk out.
That's not true. I'm going to sanitize this, so it's fine. I don't. Oh yeah, I do have a straw. Okay, how about this, Jen? Are you okay with this, Gina?
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take the criticism. So tasting your drink is a good idea because, granted, this is just 3 ingredients, 4 if you count the ice, but if it's a more complex drink, you tell me what you think about this. But taking a straw taste is a good idea because every now and then you'll find you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot the whatever bitters, or I forgot something, and you're like, and know right away, or like simple syrup. Oh my goodness, there's no sweetness there at all.
Especially when you're in a big hurry and you've got a few drinks on your.
And you're flying, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it is a good thing to do for sure. Yes, the olives.
We pre-did our garnish. This is the olive has a pickle in it, and the other one has blue cheese in it, and that's just all that this brand Filthy makes as well. I think they have a jalapeno and maybe something else too, but they don't do pimentos. And I just listened to a podcast with them, the maker on it, and it's he and his brother, I think, that started it. Anyway, I won't go too far into that, but I will say it is the most high quality olive. And you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I've not ever had one of these olives. I'm going to let you have this bigger glass. I think this is a bigger glass.
Are you sure this is a bigger glass?
I think maybe it is, yeah. Eyeballs.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To episode 1. Damn, that's delicious.
Good. I agree.
Yummy. And that extra vermouth really just helps cut that hot alcohol, astringent kind of.
Sure.
And it just rounds it out a little bit. Same with the bitters, like you said. And bitters, boy, we could do an entire episode on bitters, and maybe we will. But
yeah,
bitters, it's amazing what bitters can do. And when I was first bartending, I was like, okay, and I knew that it was, but boy, they're really, really amazing with
absolutely
drinks.
And the way I was taught to in those early days too, when I'm learning from people that still know a lot more than I do, is just to equate it just like in cooking. It's like your spice. You're basically treating your bitters as kind of like your spice in a cocktail. What do you think of that, Olive?
amazing.
Mm. I mean, the texture, because they don't use any chemicals, they soak them in water instead.
Instead of chemicals.
I can't remember what chemicals it is. It's a harsh chemical to get it to like quickly go from being super hard to being like the texture that you want. But it takes like, I don't know, like an extra 2 months to do it this way. So that's why they're so expensive. But I'll never go back. I'll never go back. I'm sold. You guys at Filthy are doing a filthy awesome job.
Yes, I don't even know. That was my first one, but it was delicious. Yeah, wow. So where did you get these?
At Safeway.
Sorry that you have to go to Safeway.
Not to shit on Safeway, but
not to shit on Safeway, but it's not my favorite.
No. Here in the town of Anacortes, we would prefer not to go over the bridge. We'd also prefer not to go to Safeway.
No, Safeway is...
It's where you see everyone you don't want to see, and you spend way more time than you'd like to spend.
It's like a town reunion, and it's always so busy. And I'm sorry. Granted, we live in a small town, and a lot of people are like, really? But no, you come down to Anacortes, you go to the Safeway here, you will see it's madness, complete madness. I honestly feel like I need a Valium or one of these lovely 3-to-1s before I go shopping. Then I'd be like, hi, oh, everything's wonderful.
Look at you, Gina. We're bringing it right back. So this ratio, 3-to-1, is still kind of boozy. It's still a boozy one.
Well, of course it is. It's all alcohol. But yes.
I mean, it's wine. There's fortified wine in there too.
That is alcohol. Let me just remind you.
Yeah, but it's not.
I mean, really.
It's not overproof alcohol.
It's not juice.
It's lower proof.
It's right, yes,
lower
but
proof.
it is still all alcohol.
Okay.
Even the bitters are alcohol.
All right.
Just saying. Anyway, continue. I apologize.
So, so many more bars. I think the finer bars in the cities are doing more often a 2-to-1. So like 2 ounces of 2 ounces of gin to 1 ounce of vermouth. And I do think that is a little bit of an expectation though out in the sticks where people are so used to their home bartending where it's higher octane and I think our palates as well are even used to that. And that's just where I just find out that to be the sweet spot. When I was taking Bar Smarts Advanced, no big deal. One of the things that you have you have 2 proctors where they're evaluating you, like they're testing you. They just tell you 3 drinks to make, and you have to make them within a certain amount of time. And one of the things they mentioned, I wish of their names. I'm so bad, but they're very famous people, and I love to name drop, but I can't remember your names. I'll do it in another episode. I will. I'll look it up.
He will too.
I'll look it up. Anyway, it was a guy and a gal, and the guy was one of the founders of Bar Smarts, but the gal was like a hot, whatever, shaker and mover in the bartending scene in New York at the time, and she just said, "Hey, as I'm making it too, because you have to converse with them while you're making the drinks, and they're not. You have to be a bartender doing it." And she just goes, "Why are these drinks so huge?" And I actually said, "Well, I'm from out of the metro area where we make our drinks big. We just do. It's the thing we do out in the sticks. So I don't know. It may be a thing, maybe a cultural thing. Can we call it a cultural thing if it's bartending in the sticks and we just make big drinks?"
That is a good question. I'm not sure. I think we can, because we can do whatever we want. We can decide that that's what this is, and every single time we come, we can always have a giant drink in front of us, because why not?
Right.
That's what we want. But yeah, like you said, if you go to a bar and you order this 3-to-1, it's going to be a spendy drink, as maybe it should, because you're going to be walking out of that place feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
The 3-to-1.
It'll do the trick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
But maybe we should say, I apologize for interrupting, but we did not say where we are. This is our first episode. I know we do have one that's on the books that's not video. And if you want to visit that, please do so. Where?
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
And I'm
probably where you're watching this right now.
Yeah. And I'm trying to put it on some other platforms, including SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes. But I am technologically challenged, and so it's been a hard start, which brings what a great modern classic, a hard start. You know that one?
I don't know that one, but I'm going to deviate from that and go back to where I was just going to say, if you're just joining us and you haven't heard, which that's all you can do, because first we were going to do a podcast and now we've decided to do video a couple years later. It's been a slow start for us. Anyway, we're in Anacortes, Washington. So, suburb of Seattle, kind of. We are about
74 miles.
74 miles to be exact.
From Seattle.
North of Seattle.
As the car drives.
Northwest.
Northwest.
Yes. Anyway. So yeah. So it's a small town. It's Fidalgo Island, the gateway to the San Juans.
Absolutely. There's a commercial right there.
Come visit the gateway to the San Juans. We know how to make a cocktail.
That's true. You got some choices out there to go get a cocktail.
And there's some good food here. There's some good, there's some good people here. We kind of want to live the good life while not doing the hustle and the bustle.
Yeah, we don't want the hustle, we don't want the bustle.
No, none of the above.
Again, I'm just talking off the sort of line here, whatever.
Off the cuff.
Shooting from the hip. But I envision us doing some road trips. I really want to go find, number one, I do want to go and talk to the old guard in Seattle as much as I can. I mean, there's some people down there that I'd love for us to go out there and just...
Seattle's amazing. It's an amazing city.
Absolutely. And I mean, we learned so much by just going out there. So many bartenders down there that I just want to go down and touch base with them and see what they think about the whole bartending in the sticks thing. Because I know even somebody like Jeffrey Morgenthaler started, I think, in Eugene, and now is one of the most famous bartenders around. And
right.
He's still behind the stick. And I'm older than him, but not that much. And it just impresses me. If somebody's actually really seriously pulling a full shift behind the bar and you're over 50, my hat's off to you. And there is a great... I need to share this with you. I need to show it to you. There's a very emotional thing that Morgenthaler actually says to a big crowd about that, like where he's talking about burnout and being too old to bartend and that sort of thing. And he's like, no, if you just stay healthy and
keep drinking. I'm kidding.
No, that's pretty much what he wasn't saying. He's saying, let's just stay healthy and keep yourself, able to keep on doing it. And he's like,
you can always do everything that you love. Mm-hmm. And if that is his passion and that is his calling, which obviously it is, I
learned so much from that guy. I mean,
people who are People who are passionate about what they do just bring a whole nother level to what it is they do.
Absolutely.
It's either it's just a job or it's a passion. And Gina,
you're nailing it. Exactly. I'm glad that we ended up talking about Morgenthaler as an example of that too, where, I mean, what a perfect example of somebody who I look up to that also I believe would concur that, it's like if you dive into it and you really get into it, it makes it more fun and more interesting and more just richer. And nobody's getting monetarily rich from doing any of this. I mean, we're all doing okay, but it's all I'm saying is that enjoying your
Enjoy
job.
anything you're doing, really. But
Yeah.
yes, if you can find all the ways that you can be amazing at your job, whatever it is, hopefully it's something that you can, find the ways to make it creative, because we all need to be creative, absolutely 100%. And fun and all the things, yes. And bartending can be all of those things. Restaurant work in particular can be fun and thrilling, and but bartending for sure is it's an art form. It can be, or it can be just it's just my job, and I really just go in and I can't really stand anybody I work. It's
Drudgery.
Really, it's all a perception, right? You can make it what you want it to be, and there are many bartenders who are just unreal, and and we've gotten to see a few of them, and it's been really cool over the years to just go. And when we were first starting to get into what I said, craft cocktailing, and you got mad at me. Not mad at me. Sorry, that's the
I've
wrong.
I've never been mad at you.
Not mad at me. You were just, no, I don't think and that's what's in my brain. And you have actually been bartending for quite a bit longer than me. So that's just in my brain. I know it's not exactly right, but when we started doing this, we used to go down to Seattle and take, our little trips, our little field trips. And they were amazing, and they were so cool. And I just to see what they were doing down there and see what we could bring up here and all that. But there is just something to be said about any of it, or diving in, like you said, to whatever craft it is that you decide to do. Be the best. Yeah. Be the best at it that you can be, and bring what you can bring to it. And
because it stokes customers out, and that feels good. It feels so I can't imagine whatever. I wish I could do some kind of like measurement of the endorphins that I get from like a customer just being so stoked. And I mean, they may say it, they may not, but you can just see it and feel it, and it's just like, oh, it just feels awesome.
Well, yeah, if you have knowledge about anything. So if your job is, whatever your job is, and you're talking to somebody about it, and the more you know about it, the more the person is going to be like, oh, and they'll talk to you about it, and they're enthralled. And people are always super enthralled with alcohol and what they're drinking. And I mean, normally. Yeah. And if you're just bantering with your customers and you have
in an appropriate amount that they're willing to take.
Obviously.
I mean, that's right. That's what is it? I mean, it's something that I think newer people can learn too, that you just go like, okay, well, read your customer. Are they on a date? Do I want to say all this?
Like an entire episode.
It's a whole episode.
Like, how to read your customer. How to read your customer, yes. How to go up, like, can you joke around with them? Do you need to be a little bit more?
Can you do accents that are not your own?
Can you do so many things? I mean, there's the super laid back. There's the people who are there's just so many things. True. And we are going to hit all of these things, we hope, in this amazing
show.
Oh, yes. Journey, show, all of the things. Yes.
No, it's that the Journey show. Welcome to Mike and Gina's Journey show.
We're going to talk about our journey.
And our show.
And hope that you can get something out of it.
So the other thought I had too about road trips, I mean, I think that's going to be a fun part of this, is that we also do go to some outlying areas. Like, let's say we go to Coeur d'Alene, or, an outskirts, more of a town in Oregon. Like, I think, well, I want to go to Ashland. We could see a play in Ashland.
Ooh, I like musicals.
I like Shakespeare.
Oh, shut it.
Because it's the Shakespeare Festival in Ashland.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. That's really bad.
Oh, she is a thespian. I'm just
clearly
a regular
not.
Dude.
Again, this is just like one of the first times that him and I went to a bar in Seattle, and you took me to the Scotch tasting. And before we went to the Scotch tasting, we went to Knee High Stocking Company, and I had never been there. This is years ago, and it's yeah. Anyway,
do you remember the bartender?
Oh my gosh, no.
Gosh, that would be so rad if you did.
Sorry, it'd be so rad if you did.
well, I know it's one of three, probably. But
I don't remember. Okay. I just remember being there and being like, "This is so amazing" and whatever. And you were talking more to him than I was, because you were saying, "Oh, this is a bartender," and I'm bringing it, and I was just
that's because I'm in love with them. The bartenders at Knee High Stocking.
Well, I'm sure you are, and I can tell that you were, and that's why I was just over in the shadows going.
Oh, don't say you were in the shadows. You were right next to me at the bar.
I'm totally kidding. But no, you were so smitten, for sure.
Definitely. I'm drooling. I'm like...
But you introduced me as a bartender, and I was thinking at the time, I had been a bartender for maybe a year, and I was like, no, I'm not. I just pretend. And you were like, oh, you don't pretend. And I thought it was really hilarious because, and then here you're saying I'm a thespian. And I want to say I'm a pretend thespian as well. So, I just have a bag of stuff that I like to kind of dabble in. I don't know if I'm an expert in any of them, but I enjoy them.
She's like Chrissy
all.
Hynde from The Pretenders. Okay.
What does that mean? Sorry, you can't just say that and just leave it. What does that mean?
Chrissy Hynde.
I know who she is,
from
but
The Pretenders. You said I'm just a pretender.
Gotcha.
It's a great song.
Gotcha.
You know how much? Okay.
Okay, sorry. I thought that there was more depth to that, but that
it was very surface. It was too surface. Okay, it was a little too surface there. But I hate music. I hate so much more music than I like. But I love The Pretenders. The Pretenders are, it's good. It's gold. It's good.
It's super interesting. The stuff that this man likes and dislikes, and the reasoning behind it. I mean, he will give you reasons. Absolutely.
Down with Phil Collins. I don't care. I don't care about that drum intro.
Okay, well, he's still a good musician, whether you like his music or not.
Oh man, we're gonna get philosophical now.
We're not. We're not even gonna go into music because that's just not what the show is about.
Let's not.
Welcome to the Phil Collins show.
Without Phil Collins.
About why Phil Collins should be listened to or not.
Did he ruin Genesis? Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
He may have.
Anybody who, anyway. You're just telling about your age now. Seriously.
Okay.
And this.
Here's a segue.
This.
Oh, yes.
This.
What a garnish.
What a garnish. What a garnish. Okay, you ate yours.
I ate mine because they're delicious.
How did you eat it without me even noticing?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're so focused on the camera and the people. You want to connect with the people. That's why. I think.
You guys all got to see him eat his olive. How was that?
They got to enjoy that. Yeah. I was gonna say this. There was a segue. There was a segue in there. I think I have the segue
about Phil Collins.
Oh, about music and bartending. So one of my most difficult things, I wonder what you think about this, naming cocktails. How hard is that?
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
It's
especially
really hard.
when you have a boss like Tim Moffat.
Oh God! Let's not bring him up.
Moffat from
Please.
A-Town Bistro, who I love.
Ugh.
I love him.
Of course
we love him.
Of course we love him, but
he is very, very hardcore, and I think he's softened over the years. So
Sure.
the people who work for him now can kiss my ass. Just saying, because I had to go through some hell with naming my drinks. I had to have a whole backstory about everything that it meant, and we have talked about the SOC.
Yes.
A number of times, and
we're
saying...
We're going to keep teasing it, though. We're not ready yet. We're not ready to go with the SOC yet.
You're right.
The SOC is going to be its own episode, for sure. Because it's a good drink. It should be a modern classic, I think. Was it yours?
It was mine. And you helped me name it. We were counting our money and and we were SOC, short on change.
Oh, yes.
But that is not the real name.
Not the secret one.
That is the name we put... Oh, I'm doing an accent again. I can't stop.
Canceled.
I can't stop because I'm a thespian, right?
So all I was getting at really with that is that I've found sometimes some of the bartenders I've worked with, like they gravitate towards music to name their drinks. Like they might name their drink the name of a song. Like you could call a cocktail Xanadu. Maybe somebody already did that. Did they already do that?
I don't think so.
We should look it up.
That's amazing. I'm totally gonna come up.
If it's
we
not
are
done...
going to come up with the Xanadu cocktail, and you're gonna be the and not only that, we're gonna play the song while I'm making it
full volume.
Oh,
full volume.
Full volume.
I'm wearing a headband for sure.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
And leggings.
Yes, we're gonna have to fuzz out so that it can be that kind of like late 70s, early 80s.
Oh yeah, we just put Vaseline on the screen.
Maybe a fan.
Oh yeah. Your hair's being blown by unforeseen winds.
Yes. Yes. Okay, sorry.
No, I love it. That
tangent.
That whole tangent was awesome. So anyway, using albums, songs, musicians, characters, it's just I've found it an easy little out. It's like a little like a cocktail naming backdoor where you're just like, I don't know, the Charlie Sheen. It's the Charlie Sheen. I've never done that one. I'm just throwing out the name.
Just a random that came to my head.
So
it's the Charlie Sheen.
I'll say this. So hopefully Chris is gonna watch this, but Chris Sawyer, one of my coworkers, good bartender I've worked with, named a drink the Bull Shannon. Do you know what the Bull Shannon, or you know the name Bull Shannon?
No.
He was the Night Court. The movie.
Oh yes,
yes,
from Night Court.
From Night Court.
Yes, the tall bald guy.
Yeah,
yes.
He was the bailiff. Is that what you call him? The cop.
I think so.
The cop
yes,
that's in there.
Yes.
Bull Shannon, and it's delightful. And I usually don't.
Gosh.
I usually don't like this type of cocktail, but it was an espresso whiskey drink with a float. We did like a vanilla cream, like a par whip, like a vanilla par whip over a bourbon and there was some other bitter. There's chocolate bitters in there too. Anyway, I'm just saying. It's
decadent and delightful.
Really delightful.
It is. I can come up with a drink. The name has always been my freaking Achilles heel.
Yeah.
And that could be a name for a drink. I should have just named it Tim. This is my drink and it's called the Achilles heel because I can't freaking come up with something. For real, it's been, ridiculous.
Now that you say this, and I love that we're peeling this onion right in front of God and everybody. But I should have, when Tim would give me a hard time, so our manager would give us a hard time if we couldn't come up with a name for something we made. And I should have just made ones like there was a band named after me called To Spite Mike. Do you know this?
Yes, okay, sorry.
You're spiking into the red.
Okay.
It's half the fun. Is for you to be spiking into the red.
So I know the band, but I didn't know that it was...
Yeah, that's me. It's me. Because Neil was always asking, he wanted to name his band, and he was coming up with all these ideas, and I'm bartending for him at the Brown Lantern in Anacortes. And he was always just like, how about this? How about this? How about Surface Tension? I'm like, no. And then he just kept coming up, and finally after so many times of me going that's a stupid name, dude. That's terrible. Don't do that. And I was being honest. I was really being honest. I mean, when I say I'm being critical in a way that I'm trying to help out my friend. He wants to name his band, and I don't want him to, when you get stuck with a name for your band and then you regret it like I have.
Oh my God.
That was my acting. Is my acting okay?
It was pretty good. As long as we dub in some violin playing and then and slow it down, I think that the drama will be
okay. Good.
Received.
So finally he comes in and he goes, "How about To Spite Mike?" And I'm like, "Boom, dude, that's it. You should do that." And he goes, "You wouldn't mind?" I go, "No, I wouldn't mind at all." I said, "I'm honored. That's great." So I should have done this to Tim, our bar manager, when he's hounding me about what are we going to call this drink, And instead of like me coming up with something, whatever, esoteric about whatever mushroom bitters that I made out of it for this drink, I should have said...
That you harvested from your backyard walk with your dog. And I'm totally kidding.
No, I harvested it from the woods. Way, way out in the woods, Gina.
Sorry, it wasn't just in the backyard. It was way out in the woods.
I venture way out, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, that's another podcast too. Anyway, I should have made it, or should have named it like something like "Stop Judging My Shoes." Tim Moffat judged my shoes so hard all the time.
Oh my gosh! Yes, yes, but we won't go
We're
into
just
this.
we'll call this episode. We'll call this episode. Damn it, Tim. We love you.
Tim is going to be, I think, probably more than one time on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Because he has to. Because for real, and I've said this
we're gonna interview him
a number of times in other things.
We're gonna
in all of our episodes that we've tried so hard to get. No, literally, I would not be a bartender if it was not for Tim Moffat. I would not probably even be a server. I was a server, but subpar. If Tim Moffat was not in my life, I wouldn't be a lot of things. So I just got to be like, I can talk shit and I'm poking fun because I love Tim Moffat. Tim Moffat has changed my life. So anyway, we're going to have him on here and you're going to be impressed because he's a rad human being.
Yep. He's going to be wearing a shirt, but he will be bottomless behind the bar here. For sure.
Donald Duck in it.
Donald Duck in it? I would
Winnie the Pooh.
Or Porky Pig in it. Either way. Yeah.
Did Porky Pig wear clothes?
Porky Pig wore a shirt and no pants.
Did he? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right.
What is up with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like the important part to cover.
We have to show the tail. Like, there's just a tail, no butthole or front parts. It's not like a cat.
Oh man, that's another story that we're not gonna get into.
Yes. So, in part of that conversation was also James Moffat.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed the recent presence of James Moffat? He's back in town.
I have not. I have enjoyed it.
Oh, it's so rad.
Slightly. I went into A-Town, saw him briefly, and Tim's entire family was at table 11, which I know you don't know the
table 11.
The cutout table by the window in A-Town Bistro.
I know. Yeah.
You know that table.
I know table
That's
11.
table 11.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if you knew it was table 11. It's table 11.
I know. We were sitting at table A earlier. You probably know that already.
I don't know that about the Union, no. Sorry.
Is it the Union or is it just Union?
Well, it's called the Union. Is it just Union?
I think it's just Union Tavern.
Union. Oh, sorry.
I have a problem with, like, I want words to be so accurate. I don't know why.
No, I get it.
I get worried about
your particularity. I don't know if that's a word. See, you're laughing because you're like, that isn't a word and I want it to be.
Particularity is a word.
Okay, well then don't laugh at me.
I'm gonna laugh at you like a motherfucker. Edit that out. Edit. Strike it from the record. That's gonna go out of focus, but we'll edit it.
Whatever.
Properly. I shouldn't have watched that.
I'm sorry that I brought attention to myself.
It's so far from anything he would ever do. Like, he's a modest...
Oh, are you kidding me?
He's a modest individual. I've been backpacking with that man a number of times. Yeah, I love me some Tim Moffat. I love camping with him, and I look forward to him Donald Ducking it, which I'll never do. Actually, maybe that's what it is. I love joking about it because he'll never do it.
Right.
So
Right. Well, and there's a lot of people who wouldn't, and there are some people who you get enough alcohol in them, which is what their plan is, right? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna drink and I'm gonna be.
So now you're talking about like Matt Walker. Look, you just gave. Matt Walker would Donald Beckett for sure.
Oh God, I love him too, and it's been way too long for that guy.
I ran into him at Safeway last time I saw him.
Oh my God,
we were talking about it. I ran into Amber and the boys. The boys just come up and start hugging me, and then out of the stage left comes Matt Walker just coming up, and I went to shake his hand, and he bear hugged me because he's a large man too. I mean, he's like
yes.
He's a good 3 inches taller than me easily, and he just like wraps me in his giant tentacles or whatever it is that he has. Testicles. He wiped his testicles all over me. Which is normal. I mean,
okay, do you remember Better Off Dead? Tell me, it's like one of my most favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, so when she's out there just chucking the oranges at the sign, he's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" Oh, I am staying here, and oh my gosh, I'm being terrible in this, but he puts his testicles all over me, and he's like,
testicles? Oh,
you mean tentacles? Yeah, whatever. Testicles. He's like, tentacles. Yes. Anyway, it just reminded me of that.
So that's...
You need to rewatch that, or we need to rewatch it together.
I'm in. And the movie I was talking about before that makes fun of the Albanians, have I tried to get you to watch that?
I don't know.
It's Tune In Tomorrow with Barbara Hershey.
Oh, Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey's a hot number. And Peter Falk, Lazy Eye, very entertaining. Those are my 2 things about Peter Falk. No, he's one of my favorites. Keanu Reeves, a young Keanu Reeves, falls in love with Barbara Hershey, his not blood related aunt. And it's Tune In Tomorrow is a radio show. So it's a radio show. There's nothing but audio going on. Obviously, it's pre-TV. So that's all shot as if they're doing a radio soap opera. You love soap operas. I mean, All My Children, Young and the Restless, something about a hospital.
General
Hospital. I was like reaching.
Like sands in the hourglass. These are the days of our life.
Yes.
Does not mean that I watched them. It means that all the older women around me had them on while they were. Oh my God, they were always on. They were always on.
They videotaped them, and then they came home and watched them at my house.
Did they ever? Like, I remember watching it again when I was young. And then I think I was, I don't know, in my early 20s and was somewhere and was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought you were actually looking at something.
Oh, well, I'm such a good actor. But it's like, holy shit.
Again with the thespians.
That person is the same person. Like from 1985. Like that is not, like that has been their job forever.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, some of the main characters that were really just mainstream went from their, mid-20s until their like 50s in the same show. And I'm watching it going, oh my God, they're still on the show. They didn't write them out. They're not dead yet. They've gone through so fucking much. Mm-hmm. They died and came back and...
Luke's there, Laura's not.
Oh my God. You did watch it.
I may have on...
That is General Hospital.
Don't point at me like that.
I will. I will, because you can't tell me about me and then not...
Okay.
Say that you also imbibed in that.
Soap. We finish each other's sentences. We're gonna wrap up Thanks for watching.
I think that some of this is not going to be
Oh no, we're gonna edit the shit out of this. I mean, a lot. We loosened up an appropriate amount. It was good. And anyway, seriously though, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe, like us on YouTube, and merch is coming. Merch is coming. We're gonna have some Bartending in the Sticks merch. Maybe you want a hat. Maybe you want a shirt.
I mean, we'll model it for you beforehand, so you can be like, "Yeah, that's the shit. That's
I
good."
wanna look like that.
We're gonna show you all about it. Show you all about it. Don't think that was right. Anyway, can I just thank my 3-to-1 drink here? 4 ounces of pure alcohol, and he's like, "Well, I don't know. Vermouth is only just a little bit. It's not really."
Do I sound like that?
Yes.
I sound just like that.
Yes. I'm so good at imitating Mike. It is uncanny.
Fun.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching our first episode. Please tune in again. They're going to be better and better.
Don't cancel us.
Don't cancel us.